So the Universe 25 experiment was a study done on mice, an attempt by scientists to explain human societies during overpopulation. The idea of Universe 25 came from an American scientist by the name of John Collins, who created an ideal world in which hundreds of mice could live and reproduce. So more specifically, Collins built a so-called paradise for mice. A specially designed space had abundance of food and water, as well as a large living space. So in the beginning, he placed 4 pairs of mice in a short time began to reproduce, resulting in a rapid growth of mice. However, after 315 days, their reproduction began to decrease significantly when the number of rats reached 600. A system was created by the mice in which they started ranking each other according to authority. The larger mice began to attack the groups. As a result, the females did not protect themselves and in turn became more aggressive towards the children. As time went by, females showed more and more aggressive behavior. There was a low birth rate, at the same time an increase in mortality rate with the young babies. Then a new class of male rodents appeared, the so-called beautiful mice. They refused to mate with their females and refused to fight over space. All they cared about was food and sleep. Not that I would ever do that, you know what I'm saying. As time went by, juvenile mortality reached 100% and reproduction rates dropped to 0. So among the endangered mice, homosexuality was observed and cannibalism increased, despite the fact that there was plenty of food and plenty of water. So this experiment was repeated 25 times, and each time the results were the same. So Collins' scientific work has been used as a model for interpreting social collapse and the focal point for studying human interaction. So we are using mice to predict human behavior. So based on this study of mice, Dr. Collins' experiment was used as a classic example of the typical population left uncontrolled. Even though these studies were done on animals, the findings of population growth and individual behaviors are being closely compared to our own population. The government believes, based on this study, we have reached an exploit phase. Same exploit phase that the mice have reached when there was an overgrown population. They need to have control over the growth of the population to avoid these couple things. Number 1, females not protecting themselves. Number 2, females becoming more isolated. To avoid a new class of men called beauty males. And all they're going to care about is food and sleep. I don't understand how that's even possible. Oh, be in a minute. They're worried about us mimicking mice in a study that they've done, stating that when there's a lot of people or a lot of mice in one room or one world, what happens is when the population grows too much, a lot of overpowering domination happens through the men's side. A lot of isolation and oppression happen on the women's side, letting go of responsibilities of their children, in turn killing ourselves to actually kill each other and wipe the population out, no different than the mice did on this mice study, is through government control. They do it, we don't.
If you haven't yet subscribed,